to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, where there are great attorneys who are ace, and we chronicle them, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. So, last stream we finished the third trial, which was interesting, and ended on a very weird and satisfactory note. And the things just got even weirder at the start of the second case. We're like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. It just gets more confusing and strange, but it has me excited though, because like I have speculations, but I don't fully know what's going on at this point. Especially all the stuff that have to do with Mr. McGilded and his mysterious supposed death. We'll see if that's even true. But we're on the 4th episode now in a new area we're exploring. This is like somewhere in London. And we did already investigate all of this area, so I think next we're in the middle of like another murder case as before. So hey Dawn, welcome! Welcome to the stream. Yeah, just giving a quick recap on last time. So yeah, we're in the middle of another murder trial, and we're just investigating, and I think next we need to talk to the person who they caught that they suspect to be the perpetrator, so we'll find out what the heck that's about, because apparently a woman was stabbed, but she's not, like, dead yet. So I guess it's kind of a murder trial, but, like, they're not dead yet, so what would that be? An assault? I don't know what the accusation would be in this case, but hey, we'll see. Okay, yeah, cool. Feel free to lurk away. Lurking is loved. Okay. Yeah, Ryunosuke always does his best. That's what I admire about Ryunosuke. Okay. We should go back to the... Oh, back. Okay. That's how we move. Prison! Oh boy. Going to prison. From my understanding, like, prison and jail are, like, two different types of facilities. It's not, like, an interchangeable word, like some might think. I think they're, like... I forget exactly what's the difference is, but, like... One is kind of like what you go to before the other or something. I don't know, man. Anyway, we're in a local prison. What's this lovely little candle, and what a comfy looking bed with just a tattered sheet to it. So these are British prison cells. Oh, they're ghastly. It feels just like a dungeon. Yes, and having experienced it in Japan myself, I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these cold stone walls. Oh, don't, Mr. Naruhodo. You're making it seem worse. Apparently, our client is in this cell here. Oh, I see no client. Looks empty to me. But it's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. Inmate 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop hiding in the back of the cell and show your face at once. Am I a cat? As yet with no name? Wait. Isn't that a quote from, like, T.S. Eliot's poems that would, like, the whole Cats musical is based off of? I think. Because, like, I know there's a whole, like, part about the naming of cats. Yeah. Calling me by a number, it's utterly, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonable. I refuse to answer. It's a lot of you words. Oh, we got another fan of alliteration like me. The way they're speaking, I wonder if they're a writer. I'm already getting that vibe. Mr. Naruhodo, what? What do you think is going on here? I have no idea, but I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese. Oh, someone from Japan, or someone who's Japanese. Interesting. I guess they picked a good person to represent him if they speak the same language. Wait, are you Edgar? Why do you kind of remind me of Edgar Allan Poe at first glance? Excuse me, but shh, quiet. What are you scared of? What's this? What's I don't know what's happening. They're all around, hiding. I know they are. Oh man. They're seeing ghosts. They're watching, listening. Even now, I can sense it. If you slept, you look tired and you got a little eye twitch there. Right, so could I ask you that? There you are! You come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it, you're a ghost! A ghost? Sato even looks shocked. Oh, we mean you no harm, prisoner-san. Are you Japanese by any chance? This is beyond my wildest dreams! There's tears. It's a waterfall. Ooh, neat music. Forgive me for that outburst before. I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine. We were just a little surprised, that's all. Imagine it! You look like your teeth are gonna pop out of your face. It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a compatriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was but most monumentally moving moment. Oh, he uses so many alliterations! A person after my own heart, man. I love alliterations. Even if it seems like forced and technically not good writing, I love to do them. It's just fun to come up with words that start with the same letter, and it just trips off the tongue so tantalizingly. Tasty. Who would have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us would turn out to be a fellow Japanese? Ah, what compassion my fellow countrymen show! To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. Noble, nurturing, never failing Nippon! Nice posing. A first-class lawyer? Oh dear, I think there's been something of a misunderstanding here. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what's happened? Why you've been detained as a suspect, for example? Yes, I can, I will! Shan't stay sullen and silent! I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. Yes, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation. I am a lawyer, as you said. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. And I am Naruhodo-san's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotaba. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notably, notoriously named Natsume Sosuke Natsume. Alright, well, let's get to chatting. Sosuke Natsume-san. What an unusual name. Call me Sosuke, please. I'm a poet, you see, a writer of haiku. Okay, I was right. I could totally call it. He's a writer. He talks like a writer would. And I have an English degree, so I'm allowed to say that. It's something of a nom de plume. A nom de plume? You mean an alias? Kind of like a pet name, I guess? That's right, Naruhodo-san. No, don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that. And haiku. That really reminds me of home. Haikus are fun! I like doing them too, because it's like challenges you to come up with something with like the limitations of certain syllables per line. I like those kind of things. Like, make something sound good and make sense when you have those restrictions. It's a pretty good exercise. I just always think of that one episode from Avatar: The Last Airbender where Sokka just ends up, I think, with this poetry group or something, and they're making haikus, and they see him and they're like, 5 7th and 5 syllables mark a haiku. A remarkable oath. And it's thanks to that episode that I just always remember how many syllables are supposed to be in each line of a haiku. So, thank you, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Kind of a shame that now you have to refer to it as The Last Airbender for people to know what you're talking about, because there's the other Avatar now with the blue aliens, which is a completely different thing. So, like, you want to make sure you make that clear if you just say Avatar, because people will be like, huh, which one? Talking about the good one. Anyway. Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student sent out here by the government? Yes, that's right. A year ago I was told to go and study English. First I had to suffer that misery, and now this is beyond the pale. Suffer that misery. Oh man, yeah. The misery of studying English. And I don't know how people, like, English is my first language. I've studied a little bit of French in school, but I'm not fluent by any means. So, like, I don't have a second language. So I am beyond impressed by anyone who is able to learn English as a second language, because it is heckin' confusing. Like, every rule has an exception to it, and just nothing makes sense. Like, even, you know, no matter how long you've studied it extensively as your own language, it's still just, it's frustrating. It's so weird. English, why? What are you? Suffer that misery. Did you not want to study here? No, I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course. Oh. But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it. No! What do you mean? If they told me to study English literature, that I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Oh, you thought they just meant literature, not to, like, learn the whole language. Oh yeah, that is a very big difference, for sure. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonable. I see. Only the other day I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on whitewashi! Oh, I'm gonna have fun with this character. You must be a man of great standing. Oh yes, so I've often told. And often like to be told, it seems. So what'd you do? Why did they think you stabbed a person? Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san? I didn't do it! I didn't commit that atrocious murder! Murder? Oh, no, it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? I mean, last I heard, she was alive, so, I mean, could be worse. But she was stabbed with a knife! What's that? A knife! No! That clip always cracks me up. Right before my eyes! Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. What? If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here? Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated. Oh, why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse! The curse of London! It's incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient! Oh my gosh. The localizers must have had the best time running for this guy. So Soseki-san was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker. It's vital that we find out more about the case. Yes, please tell us. It was an accursed evening just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I went to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to the accursed lodgings. Sure, the bookshop was an accursed too. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed into the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. How terrible! I called out to the woman, but he didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps? I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. That's not good. Yeah, that just makes you look very suspicious. Yeah. I'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that. Tell me, Soseki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know one of these fair-haired English and young women at that? I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people. Oh man, social anxiety be like. I see. A young woman unknown to Soseki-san. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass by you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great. Yeah, that really doesn't help our case, like, at all. No one saw anything. So the victim wasn't known to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it? What conundrum? Conundrum? What do you mean, Susanoo-san? What's the conundrum? Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim and that there was no one else at the scene. Yeah, so how would anyone have known he was there? Who saw him? Who was a witness to, like, think he did it? Did they, like, hear him admit to it or something? Then he apparently fled without having been seen. I did. But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. Arg, you! What did you just say? Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oops, perhaps I thought that a little loudly. Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how does Saseki-san actually come to be arrested? Sorry? He didn't just the victim and there was nobody at the scene to see- Yeah, that's just what I was saying. How did anyone know that he was there? No one was there to see him. It's like if a tree falls in the middle of a forest, doesn't make a sound. You know, kind of logic here. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? If a woman was stabbed in the middle of a London street, was it the man that no one saw there? I don't know. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? Oh, yes, she's right. It was him! That accursed great detective! He led the police to me! Wait, great detective? Are we talking about Sholmes? Are you gonna get to see Sholmes again? But how would Sholmes even think it was him? What'd you do, Sholmes? Are you causing trouble for us again? Of all the bad luck! Accursed great detective. Could it be? I should just never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed busybody, be gone! Yep, that's exactly what I thought. May you be cursed to the ends of your days. Herlock Sholmes? That laugh, though. I knew it. Yep, I knew it too. We all knew it. If we're being honest. Mr. Sholmes. Oh boy, Sholmes. Of course it would be you. Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips. Whew. That's for sure. It was the morning after the nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me, "This is the police! Put the weapon down!" Oh, yes, it was a thin sliver. And yes, it was hard. But I wasn't eating a weapon! Disgusting! Dietary discrimination devils! Yeah, no food shaming. That's not cool. You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat. That's Herlock Sholmes! It's actually just Herlock Sholmes. He's English. I've since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London. Yes, the great detective is really well known. And his only sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm a knife-wielding madman, me, this weak, stooped kitten of a man. I wonder what great deduction process led him to this conclusion this time. Do you mean to say that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. Well, the thing is, I was sort of panicked when they barged their way in. Did you like yell out, "Oh, I did it," or something? Or like, "It wasn't me"? Because that would just make you look bad. Of course you were, that's only natural. I was terrified and trembling, but they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish, horrid, film flabbery! Well, we are in England. You really can't blame them for questioning you in English. Good point. My mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, "Yes, I do, and I'm fine." The next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here. Aww. So like you were just lost in translation, man. It's rough. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising. I'm fine. He's not fine now. No, sir, you were not fine. Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire! Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo, and when we're speaking English, a simple Mr. is more than enough. Oh, yes, alright. Yes, they've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind! But please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You will do it, won't you? Well, Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself on a study tour. Oh, a student? I have defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Yeah, after the last case, I'd be pretty confused about that, too. Oh, Naruhodo-san. I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer. What is locum? That's another vocabulary word of the day! What is locum? Definition. Locum is a person who stands in temporarily for someone else of the same profession, especially a cleric or doctor. Okay, that is a very apt word to use in this scenario, so cool. Now we know what locum is. The armband, that's the background defense lawyer from a great empire! It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. A keepsake? I know exactly what they're saying about me. Oh, what do you mean? The lawyers are the British defense lawyers. They won't defend me. Goodness, why do you say that? For the same reason as you noted before, when it happened. It was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san. Wrong person. It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them, someone not to be trusted. I heard them openly laughing about me before in my earshot without any compunction at all. Any trap with this man would be a waste of time, they said, and of course the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say the man who doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway. Aw, it's not nice. That's awful. They're wrong. I have studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets. I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. So, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. Yeah, but that's fair. That makes sense. You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through. Soseki-san, it's just that. I mean, the last person I defended was found dead shortly after the trial, so, I don't know if we have a best track record. Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can, for the time being. What do you mean? We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh, yes, thank you. I'll be here, on the look, waiting for you. Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. We should be going then, Mr. Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for. I think, yeah, we discussed all we could. Are we able to present? Oh, this is all we have, 2%. But I mean, see what he says. Oh, yes, yes, the symbol of one of our great empires, first-rate lawyers. Which means, of course, you'll stand by my side to defend me. Oh, no, sorry, that wasn't why I was showing it to you. Yeah, it's always funny when that's like a running joke on the old Ace Attorney games. Be like, hey, let me show you my attorney badge. Here you go. And why else would you show me that? Oops. In hindsight, that probably wasn't the best idea. I was just curious what would happen. You know me. Okay, I guess let's go back out here and see if we can check out more. Because earlier we couldn't investigate the exact spot where the victim was found because the police were like, no, none shall pass. Oh yay, Gregson might be able to help us. What's a Japanese delegation doing here? And you just make me want to eat some fries every time I see you. Oh, Inspector Gregson! This is another tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware. Yes, of course, we're here to investigate. So you've been to the holding cells then? What do you make of the criminal? He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect. Yeah, get your terms right. Well, we'll see about that. You Japanese lot stick together, I suppose. Well, it doesn't bother me. Looks in court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict's a foregone conclusion. The stone cold air of rejection. Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone cold air. Oh, come on. Like that helps. And that makes it worse somehow. Yeah. Yeah. Let's have a conversation with you, sir. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. Ever since I read about it in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, I've been fascinated by the place. The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organisation you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am. Oh, but you know I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet. Interesting thing to want. It does make them look the part. See that policeman there with the helmet on. You suddenly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city. It kind of looks like your vision would be impaired with that, though. Wait, it sort of goes over their eyes. Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful? Being a lot of Bobby is hard going, I can tell you. Oh, really? First thing in the morning, you know what he does. Around rouses all the labourers on the beat so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yup, raps on the windows, long pole. Did it myself, going back a bit. Dude, that sucks. Like, no one's gonna like you for just waking everyone up. I had no idea. Bobby works at the people of the town. Here's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. Has to cover 20 miles a day. That's regulation distance. That is quite a lot of steps in a single day. Certainly more than I take on average. I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. Yeah, Mel, shouldn't it be like kilometers in this side of the world? 20 miles? What's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama? On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. A step too far. Because they're taking steps. When it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps. Sorry, I keep yawning so much. Gosh, I'm just tired this time of day. Wish I could stream earlier, just my schedule right now is not allowing it. Oh my. And I suppose in between all these duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well. And chase after criminals trying to evade the law. I'm not sure you could call in between exactly. Or alongside, but yes. Yeah, expects to handle all these jobs as well. We do have them keeling over from time to time, I admit. I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you in the Naruhodo. Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. It happened our wrongful off in the evening 2 days ago. Just down that open bit of him. I hope we can, like, actually pick up evidence soon, because right now we have, like, nothing. Just our armband. A victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned she's being treated in hospital. I never said she was a lady. She is like she come around pretty smart-ish. We won't be able to find out much about her at all. I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. Here's a map of the local area. I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want. Really, are you sure? It's your policy to give lawyers and defending suspects the old bit of information to go on. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still. Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept. That's something. We have a map. Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can't be sure that nobody else was present. I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can't be sure. How? It's not like you had, like, security cameras back then. How? Of course, ma'am. The precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. What? We have 2 very reliable witnesses, no less. Ah. It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see him. There were witnesses now? Who are these witnesses, Inspector? A fellow and his wife. And the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. He's a cobber from Scotland Yard. Ah! A policeman? That might change things. Yeah, it's an interesting witness to have. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked. Nothing cool about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby. Catching them banging the act and all that. And do you think it might have been possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions? My guess, you can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow. As a witness, huh? I no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to. It's that then, he's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. A policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed. Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh, yes. One more thing, Inspector. What? The person who led you to the suspects. I hear there was Mr. Herlock Sholmes. What are you bringing him up for? Oh, something I said? Color is made from a cheeks. Oh, gee. What are your thoughts on this person? You seem to think something. Twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. How you going to defend him and all? Oh, well, we don't have much to go on, do we? Like's no difference to me. Well, I will say just this. No London lawyer, worth his salt, will touch that case with a barge pole. If the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean? There's no way to say the bad now, it's a waste of time trying. We faced him before and won. Why are people still like freaking out over this person? Unless it's like implied that that's the whole reason why the Gilded died. I don't know. Grim Reaper still raped him. It's all a bit strange though. Sorry? Reaper. Yeah, I've appeared in court once for a good few years now. Yes, we did hear something to that effect. The old people usually ballers with all the real scum, the master criminals, the violent ones. Master criminals? The violent ones? That's right. He outpicks the victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely. That's my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase. Yes, then why is he part of this? Why is he involved? Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No. There's got to be more to it. Some reason is taking an interest. What would be like the accusation here? Like attempted murder? Assault? I don't know. What sort of reason, Inspector? You think I might tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. Are we really going to have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he puts it. Alright, now tell us about Mr. Sholmes. I'm very curious about this. Where did y'all hear that name from? Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions. Fiddle faddle. Ugh. The man's an amateur! Oh, I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. Ooh, man, we got a hater in the house. Oh. I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime. Wanders around, spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case. Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he? Gibble gobble. Ugh. Ever seen this before? Oh, yes, that's Rand's magazine. The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Herlock Sholmes appears. Are they about to like say, oh, it's actually fiction or something? Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the odds detectives in its stories. and the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. Yeah, I'd see why they wouldn't like him for that reason. If you ask anyone at the yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Holmes tale at all. Well, I suppose there is an element of that. We work our socks off for every one of us, only to be front bar the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals. That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? Clearly the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective. Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Oh, yes. What is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? Oh boy, here we go. Good to see Sholmes again. Yes, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, exactly. Ugh, look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Yep, ever the fangirl. Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of this, didn't he? Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. At least you admit it. The truth is, we have no idea the man's address. It's Baker Street. There we go. How do you know that? I'm assuming it's in the stories. Yep. It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street. The most famous address in the world. Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. Better try to find our way there before Susato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable. Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage! So, we're to have a reunion already. With the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. We discussed everything we could. Why not? Take a look at you. Okay, so till the murder took place, then there's that, then there's that. Okay. Thank you again for this. Don't mention it. Someone at the yard fished out for me, but the end I didn't need it. Oh? Well, the case can hardly be simpler, could it? Oh, I don't need a map to work out what happened. You can throw it away when you're done with it. Ugh, cold. Talk about. Okay, are you gonna let me, like... No, okay. I guess we have to, go where Sholmes is next. Ooh, Sholmes is so sweet. Ah! Look at Susato nerding out at the bottom. Can we really visit, do you think? Oh, pinch me, I must be dreaming. That's cute. Let's go. Ooh, anime cutscene! Love it when it turns into an anime. Wish there were more of these. Or I wish this game had more voice acting.
It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day.
Thanks again.
There we go.
This is it. The residence of Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Very pleasant. Ooh, look at the little plants. cozy looking place. So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. Oh boy, she's gonna lose her mind. Is it as described in the stories, Miss Usato? His music too is nice. And Susato-san. Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room. Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be. The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog and down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it. The romanticism. Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, I suppose I can, yes. So if you don't mind. I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. Please don't mind me. She's obsessed. Well, it looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me? Is anybody home? Oh, do we have a visitor? Look who it is! Oh, are you like an assistant to Sholmes or something? Hello? Is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes? Hello? Wait. Aren't you? Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. I'm sure that's the same girl. Miss Usato, did you see the girl who was just here? Oh, yes. Isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to visit this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case. Oh yeah, we've lost her. You've completely lost her. The King of Bavaria? King Wilhelm Gottsreich Sigismund von Ormstein, of course. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Herlock Sholmes for a moment and look over here. The tea's brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well. Ah, it's you! I knew it. Susato-san recognizes her too. Ah, there you are. I am taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilded's trial in the defendant's antechamber. I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Oh, it's her. I've never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Poor you. Having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London. Oh, I guess it was challenging. Oh, well, there's this tea. It's my special blend, you know. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color? Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. What kind of tea you got there? Hooray, it's a winner! I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. Sounds like something I could use. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here. And you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're to defend a Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck. Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? Oh, you know Hurley? Hurley? That's a nickname. Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, surely? Mr. Sholmes is a fellow passenger in the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see. Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he just returned from overseas. Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth did she know so much about us? Did she deduce all those things, do you think? And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite? Oh, silly me. I haven't introduced myself, have I? Who are you? It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson. Is she like the Watson in this? Because I think I remember the cutscene referring to a Wilson. I live here together with Hurley. Ah, Iris, is it? What a lovely name. I do like it. I like flower names. They're nice. What? What's the matter? No, wait. This can't be. Did you say that your real name is Wilson? What's the matter, Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? Oh, because probably Wilson is mentioned in all the stories that are written down about Sholmes. So now she's gonna fangirl over her too, probably. Yes, that's right. What are your names? Oh, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a lawyer from Japan. Oh, sorry. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Mikutoba. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely. Susie and Bruno. Got it. I guess Iris likes coming up with nicknames. Those are actually cute ones. Susie. And Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. No. There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her, I don't know where to start. Yes, and so do I. Let us converse. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey? Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much. Oh, no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. Although at the time we did have a rather large gun pointed at us. Yeah, like this, yeah, exactly like that. Thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you? Oh, yes, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. Yeah. Oh, Ginny! Yeah, she's a professional pickpocket. So we found out. It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that. Oh, so that's how she ended up with it. Okay. Are you afraid of that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption? Exactly. So I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions. That doesn't sound good. This girl is dangerous. Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty technician. Sorry, your technician? Yeah, who's that? Who makes it? Oh, Sholmes. Hurley, of course, silly. Hurley? Yes, Herlock Sholmes. We live here together. I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter. A daughter? Not likely. What? I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I? Is he, are you his wife? Well then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes? Well, I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner. A roommate. Oh, maybe they're just roommates. Okay. You're roommates? I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris. How old are you? That's what I'm wondering. Like, huh? Oh, okay, yeah. Thank goodness you're not his wife, because you're only 10. Like, no. No. You are a child. Tenant last this year. Oh, well, whatever your mother and father. Oh, no. They're not around. Aw. Are you an orphan? Oh, I see. I wonder what this story is there. Oh, yes, there's something I must ask you. Oh, of course. Go ahead, Susie. I am a very great fan of the adventure of Herlock Sholmes. Are you gonna just ask for an autograph? I bet that's what she's about to ask for. Oh, you have a copy of Rand's magazine. Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world. Oh, is she the one responsible for writing them? Oh, is like Susano's world about to get shattered and she finds out that it's like mostly fiction? My stories? That's right. Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see. And he tells you about them. Oh, okay. So she's just kind of like recounting what he tells her. I see. They really are quite fascinating. It would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them. Don't you think? Oh, goodness. Last night he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. So, you were the author. Yes, I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure the Speckled Band. Oh, okay, yeah, that was the adventure we just had on the ship. The Speckled Band. Which apparently is an actual Sherlock Holmes story, from what I've heard. So, interesting. The Speckled Band, that's certainly familiar. Of course! I always change one or two details in the stories. Here, I feel like it's more than one or two details. This time, I had the idea of making a venomous snake being the cause of all the trouble. Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually. Yes, and of course I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case, but it's a story! Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think. I mean, as long as you have a disclaimer that it's like fiction, so people don't think it's real. Because, yeah. So, do you mean to say, are the stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in the Rounds magazine all written by me? Yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter. Oh goodness, I'm so glad that we have better technology than typewriters nowadays, because oof, it seems like quite the tedious way to do something, especially if you make a mistake, like goodness. And noisy and uncomfortable. Like, it just doesn't seem fun to type on. But all the stories I've ever read. I mean, I guess it's still better than handwriting, but... Written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson. Susana sounds getting more and more worked up. Well, I mean, she's just having her, like, world shattered. I guess, what did he say? Don't meet your heroes. It's kind of what's happening here. Like, they're one way, and then you meet them in person, and just the illusion is completely shattered. They're not the way you imagine them. Hi, yes! That's me! Or in this case, you found out a truth that you may not like. I mean, my name really is Wilson. I mean, yeah, like your last name, your surname. But what about the doctor of medicine part? That's all true, too. Huh? You're 10. You're a doctor? Are you a 10-year-old doctor? Are you a child physician? I am a doctor of medicine. No, at 10 years old? At 10 years old! Well, that's quite incredible. But oh, where's his auto? Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. No. Nope. Dr. Wilson is a 10-year-old child. Ah, yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling. I mean, a 10-year-old doctor sounds pretty dang compelling. You don't see that every day. Oh. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective and a 10-year-old girl in tow. I suppose it does, yes. Poor Susato-san. She looks like her whole world has just fallen apart. Or like the dynamic. I haven't seen a single episode of this anime yet, but I know that Spy Family anime has gotten like really popular, and this just sort of makes me think of it just because like it's older, like detective person with a taking care of, well, I guess, yeah, looking after a child. Like I know nothing about the plot, but that's kind of what I gathered from posts I've seen about Spy Family. So, and its art and stuff. About before. Yes, what's on your mind, Bruno? Do tell me. How did you know that I was a lawyer and that we just arrived in London, I mean? Yes, oh, that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted, although there's really no mystery. Now let's begin. Hi, Mr. Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular. Oh boy, is she gonna do this just like Sholmes did? Yep. These segments are fun though. First of all, I already knew that you were a lawyer, Bruno. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber. But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How did you know that? Your pocket? Haha. I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket. Oh. So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs. The Reaper of the Bailey. I walked right into that one, didn't I? Oh, Susato, you have a stamp on your hand. What does that mean? How did I notice a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand? You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with the suspect, weren't you? Earlier today. Ah. I used those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see. I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus but guilted, the two of you had already caused to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. What is this interesting background here? However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That makes me believe that you must have accepted a new case. I see. But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow? Well, Well, having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It obviously amused him. He told me that he'd caught a Japanese— No. Is this all your fault? Herlock Sholmes, this is the whole reason why the person we're defending was arrested to begin with. It's because of you! We have you to blame. You're the cause of this mess. I don't like you right now. He told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. A Japanese man? Well, that clearly must have been Mr. Natsume. Now Bruno has a fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, wasn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourself. So I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case. Here's a note on the mantelpiece. It says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his nose with a knife, you know. He is silly. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. That was actually good compared to Sholmes. Are you the true brains of this operation, Iris? Oh, well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct? They were spot on. Can we have you help us with this case instead of Sholmes? You seem like you'd be much more helpful. That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. You even managed to make the certain something of Mr. Sholmes' discovery. Oh well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. This is really good news. You can tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please. Yes, please. Spill the tea, girl. So you got a teapot and teacup behind you. So yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying? Yes. Hurley had just arrived back from London after a sea voyage. But the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene. Ah, the great detective is a popular man, it seems. Apparently, a woman was stabbed in a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking stooped man. Oh, Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt. Soseki-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. But it seems there were witnesses after all. Hurley used his very deductive powers to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking man shivering in fear. Ugh, Mr. Sholmes, great deduction, certainly at the mark at that time. Yeah, like the one time he's right, when it's inconvenient. Of course it did, he's a great detective. But still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it? Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. Hurley says that London is rife with crime. Oh. Scotland Yard is doing its best, but he can't stay on top of it, apparently. Oh dear, I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the first suspicious person. That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system. I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Soseki-san. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative. Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well. Oh, well, it's entirely still investigating the scene. Of the case involving Mr. Natsu? How can we investigate it? They wouldn't even let us anywhere near it, and we're the ones assigned to the trial. Yes, Mr. Nuts. Ume. Mr. Nuts. Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave him down, you'll probably catch him there. Iris, you know where those lodgings are. Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective with the name of Gregson while you were there? Oh, did we? Yes, we know Inspector Gregson. Ha, goody! In that case, give Gregsy this to me, would you? Gregsy. If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know. I don't know what that is, but it sure looks cute. Like a quarter or something? A coin? A 5 shilling piece and a postcard, it seems. Okay, shilling. It reads, tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. Naturally, that would be a problem. How does Iris have this kind of power over him? Like, what? What's the story behind that, I wonder? Gosh, will it make the inspector help us, will it? Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give this a try. Good luck, then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blends of tea, so come back again soon. We'll be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime. So somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all. Yeah, I find that very odd. We headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. I really want to know the reason for this. To be continued. Alright, part 2. It looks as though those police are still here, carrying on with their investigation. Perfect. So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his ships to look at that silver tip Iris gave us for him. I guess we need to present. I want to examine this further. This is a 5 shilling piece, isn't it? I believe it's called a crown. Yes, if you can train a Scotland Yard to do whatever you want, just the single one. Iris would be the most powerful 10-year-old in the world. No kidding. She's a doctor and can do this. How much is 5 shillings, by the way? What's it really worth? Well, it's probably enough to buy all the chips that the inspector could possibly eat in a whole month. Oh, well, I mean, that technically is a lot, if that's the case. That's greasy. Okay. Ooh, we got a note back here. Tell the gentleman in black whatever. Okay, yeah, that's what she Iris said. It's a cute handwriting she has. Very nice penmanship. Little heart at the end too. Iris's little handwriting is adorable, isn't it? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem. Yes, the handwriting might be adorable, but the message is ominous. There's no room for sentiment there. Well, I'm sure it's simply the way you're interpreting it, Mr. Naruhodo. Anyway, I do hope the inspector will tell us what we need to know when he reads it. You don't think it'll just make him munch popping hot chips until the steam comes out of his ears, do you? I mean, he certainly seems fond of those chips because he's always got a handful of them every time we see him. Is it kind of like Emma from the other Ace Attorney game. She's always snacking on, what was it, like actual potato chips or something, or some kind of snack thingy. I forgot what it's called. Wouldn't that be an entirely terrible outcome? Oh, take a look at this, sir. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a powerful and gadabouts, that's for sure. We have this for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? For me? From her ladyship? Okay, what is the story behind this? Wait. The power she has over this man. Her ladyship? Give that air a what's? Come on, I deserve that. That's for me. I'm gonna squeeze all the grease out those chips like that. Ugh, don't wait for me to give it to you, will you? What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's, well, it's an appearance fee, that's what it is. Appearance fee. An appearance fee? Oh, I see, you mean. That's right, for the adventure Sherlock shows. A ladyship always offers me a little financial, but oh. So they, okay, he's complaining earlier about how they're portrayed in the stories, but they get paid for it too. So like, they're kind of, you know, agreeing to it. A ladyship always offers me a little financial reward featuring me every time. Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. Of course, using my name without my say-so does make me the butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes still, but still. I am sorry, Inspector, that must be difficult for you. Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. It must not be a problem, it says. Obviously, it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector, we'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Ah, little North-Wilden mustached Japanese fellow. He lives in a right old oval. It's just over there. Look, is that place with the bike in front and like the Brookton window and the door with the windows like that have holes in them and cracks? Yeah, that's it, right over there. On the first floor of that house on the corner with that wreck of a bicycle propped up. I guess that I could explain why he was in close vicinity to the crime scene, because it was just, you know, the other street corner from him. That is nearby indeed. If I remember rightly, the landlord was a Mr. John Garridep. Quite well, if you would see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it. You tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Goodbye for now then, and long live her ladyship. Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left. Yes, so then we shall go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings? Definitely. That should be interesting. Let's see what we can see. These investigation portions are usually pretty fun, though. Just exploring and checking things out. I always enjoy that in games. Are those bullets? Is that a cannon? Why does he have a cannon? Hi. May I help you? Ah, yes. Would this be the residence of Mr. John Garridep? Indeed it would, sir. And who may I say is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo is representing Mr. Sosuke Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here. We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. What is with their face? Just like lighting up when they say something. One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Gerardub. What do you mean? Did you see that, Did you see that, Mrs. Sato? That was a real-life English maid. I know, as I understand it, anyone of standing in English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better. It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it? We need only to meet a butler and the experience will be complete. Oh, I'm not sure if I go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Gerardub will see you now. This way. Oh, quite the interesting silhouette you have there, sir. Let me examine this place. I guess examining you makes me talk to you. Good day to you, John Gerardub at your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer. Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the... A shot to the knee. Is this like an arrow to the knee joke? That's a piece of ancient internet history at this point. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of May woned. Don't you know? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from the service. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. So he's a retired soldier. Well, I guess that explains all the, war paraphernalia everywhere. It's a hell of a job getting up and down stairs now, I tell you. I don't get out as much as you can imagine. Oh yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Gerardub, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal is just a photo roll. What's a photo roll? That's another word I don't know. Photo roll. First used as a meaningless refrain in popular songs. Oh. But it could be used to mean a useless ornament or accessory, like a trifle. Okay. Or just also means a nonsense. Okay, that makes more sense in this context. Would like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let these good people see it properly. Joan, fetch— Oh! Burn him alive, why don't you? Dash it all, woman! Be careful! Oh, dearie me! I do beg your pardon, sir? Humph, you jolly near took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. Yes, that was painful just to watch. So anyway, there you have it, living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right? Yes, we would be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only too pleased, naturally. Especially if it helps to keep the peace. Here in Blighty. Ew! You're stirring your tea with your pipe? We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. That doesn't look sanitary. So this case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Someone get this man a teaspoon. Oh, is it? Even had some famous detective poking around, you know. In this old house, would you believe? Probably looking about Sholmes. Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Could have been, didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all the detective business. Oh, but you have a copy of Rent's magazine here, so... I mean, yeah, you gotta know something. No. Oh, you don't hide that very well. Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So, he's in Soseki-san's room. Okay, so that's where he went. Looks like we'll have a Sholmes sighting soon. It's a bally nuisance is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss, it's jolly and unsettling. Tell us more. About Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Garada, please do tell us. Oh yes, a Japanese chap, only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? Yeah, he made it sound like he was here, like, in London for like about a year or something, right? So he moved in very recently then. I have 2 lodges most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor became available a week ago, you see, so they've been... Stop biting him! Dash it all, Joe, do be careful. Oh my goodness, I'm terribly sorry, sir. If you want to know my opinion... Why do they still just say maid on her, like, title card there? Should be Joan. We know her name now. She's not just maid. Maid has a name. I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. Oh, why? He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. Yeah, that describes him pretty well when we saw him first. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you asked me. I said to myself, Joan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later he's going to do something untoward. And I'm really wrong about anything. We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't think she'll be very helpful. Is there anything else that struck you as suspicious with the man at all? Yes, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. Had you noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume? Oh my word, yes! The man was shadier than an orchard. That's a good phrase. Shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take this man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of day within a living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that bookshop every single day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time anyone else in the house has gone to bed. Oh, I see. Maybe he's just a dino. Doesn't mean he's suspicious. Then just up on the ground floor, goes to bed at about 9 each night. But I've never known a Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Ah. Could you clarify something, I wonder? Oh, what, pray? Maybe he's up late writing or something? How do you know so much Mr. Natsume's routine? Yeah, have you been spying on him? Oh! I'd understand that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct? Yeah, and you're not everyone else's maid. That's right, yes, they're both below us, on the first floor and street level. Then, how is it you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? That's us. The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed? Don't burn him! Okay. Good grief, Joan, be more careful, woman! Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. This gag is getting old quick. Please, make it stop. Something doesn't add up here. It seems that the incident took place around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out the window at around that time? The window. Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garrett household. So I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joe? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. But with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then? Such as? Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Well. Yes, was there something then? Was it particularly significant but around that sort of time? Get there! Ugh! For the love of God, Joan, watch what you're doing! Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Do be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. How do you still have your job, Joan, if you just constantly spill hot tea on him's lap? If I may, Mr. Narrow Hollow. Oh, yes. I have an exceedingly good memory, but as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? Mr. Garrett? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really nothing else. Okay, I'm honestly just getting tired of this tea spilling. This is not good tea. Joan, dash it all, what's the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal. Joan. That's right, Mr. Garrett. Okay, this exchange also is feeling a little suspicious to me. Like they're hiding something. What is the matter with these two? That's what I wonder. It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident, but what? I wish I knew. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? Why, certainly. Just below us on the first floor. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there even as we speak. Yes. Told me Knott's name and asked him to look into the matter. So I gave him the key. Mr. Natsume had engaged Mr. Sholmes' services? That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around in Mr. Natsume's room, I mean? Don't see why not. Just down one flight of stairs. Who knows we'll find anything that can help us with the case, but we'll have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we? Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more. Wait, I didn't mean to select that. Oops. Also, all your stuff is hanging crooked in your house. Should probably do something about that. What else can I examine here? Look at that enormous screen. They must have been put there deliberately, surely. Yes, it certainly seems like someone tried to hide something from you. What could be behind it, I wonder? I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek. Ahem. Maybe let's not, Mr. Sato. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. Yeah, gee, that's kind of threatening. She'll just spit hot tea on, not spit, spill hot tea on us. This window looks over Briar Road where the young woman was attacked. Oh yes, I could make out the policeman on the far side of the road investigating the crime scene. The glass is rather murky, isn't it? You can't see very clearly. Does this thing open at all, I wonder? Why should I underestimate the bitterness of a London winter, sir? Sorry? As soon as you open that window, the tea will freeze in the pot. No Londoner would go opening windows at dusk in the middle of winter, I assure you. It seems very unlikely that these two would have seen anything of the incident then. Okay. What's that on the floor there? There's a portrait of you. That portrait of Mr. Garrett is glaring at me, I swear. The head's supposed to represent, like, or resemble a battleship or something. Have you noticed that all the little frames contain footprints? Mr. Garrett as well? Yes, and there seems to be a statue of a lion on the mantelpiece as well. Oh yes, seems to come back from the local pawnbroker with a little trinket. Seem to come back? Oh, what do you mean? The chap who runs the place is a bully wizard. Wanted to sell him something and came out with that thing. In point of fact, now I think about it, I rather often find myself leaving the place with something I don't need. That's rude. The lion ornament certainly does seem surplus to requirements. Susato-san doesn't pull her punches, or her throws for that matter. Okay, there's a picture, there's a lion. What about this medal? What'd you get it for? It looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased on a very grand banner. Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say, although it does bother me that it's not straight. What, that old thing? Sorry? I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn in his grave if I dispose it. What? Why do you want to get rid of it? The wall is the best place for what keeps the bully thing out of the way. It's a Medal of Honor. You should be proud of it. So it's the polished to shine by accident, I suppose? There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself. Look. Let me see, it says, for distinguished participation. He literally got a participation trophy, but in like medal form, or participation medal. Oh boy. Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Yeah, doesn't take much effort for that, does it? Just show up. Well, what is elected low one's untroubled, but I was given that for my time in the army. Can't imagine an officer with the number of medals to his aim, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. Okay, there's that. There's a fireplace. There's your maid. There's coat. Is that your coat? That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after, though. That whole thing. Pah. Not much better than rags, really. Oh. Wore that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past. Me would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, it doesn't hurt to have the odd piece of memorabilia laying about, does it? Who doesn't know why everything is so crooked? Oh, I see. Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. Nice, dish collection, spice rack, and a cannon. Why do you have a cannon indoors? That's a full-size cannon. What's it doing here? Oh my, it's real. I thought it might be a replica. That whole thing? Bah, that's little more than a toy. Sorry? The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never knew where the enemy might attack next. Or at least want to have a cannon about that. Oh gee, really it isn't overkill. I'd say it's pretty overkill. Be prepared, I always say, you never know what this blood is going to tell you next war. Or the this one house I saw in Final Fantasy 14 where they had like a cannon at the entrance. And it's like, oh boy, now this is inviting, like a cannon. Do you think there may be trouble from brewing, Mr. Garrett? Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Tries to move the boat. Yeah, I see that apron over there. I was wondering about that too. I drive very well in the cannon there, Joan tells me, which rather proves my point, I feel. I don't know about that. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in time. You'd be better off hanging it closer to the fireplace. I mean, I guess it's in close enough proximity. It looks like a little sword, giant bullets. Are those mortar shells? They're enormous. Oh, I hadn't noticed. What are they doing here? Oh, those old things. Couple of little rounds I accidentally fired at the barracks during training, you know. Oh no. Give a bit of a colorful regime folklore, that incident. You mean you deliberately hunted out the spent shells? Well, I wouldn't say deliberately exactly. They're only scrap iron at all, and usually just throw it away, I believe. But you never know when things might come in useful, do you? Useful for what exactly? Yes, well... Joni, I did manage to knock one of the bully things on my foot the other day while she was dust. How is that useful? Do you enjoy pain? Because, like, Joan hasn't lost her job despite repeatedly scorching your skin. Oh no. Hadn't shed a tear since 1869 before then, you know. Maybe reconsider throwing them away. You see that like it's a good thing, like, oh, I was finally able to cry because my maid dropped a gigantic mortar shell on my foot. I didn't see a pile of books here, Mr. Garrett. Do you enjoy reading? Ever experienced London winter boy, the nights alone. No better way to pass the time than in front of a fire with a jolly good book. Oh, here's a copy of Rand's magazine here, I see. No doubt Mr. Garrett enjoys the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, too. That great detective has a great many followers, it would seem. Okay, left side. I didn't mean to select that. I meant to move. Oh yeah, I have to hit the arrows, not the A. Ooh, lovely little pile of treats, but what a mess on those shelves. Oh look! What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand. Lined up, it looks more like somebody's half demolished them to me. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English way. It is Mr. Garrett's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea. That sounds delightful. Oh, wait a minute though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Well, naturally, and I would never do to waste the leftovers. So whatever Mr. Garrett does, I say to myself, Joan, you shall have to tidy up, or does she just eat all the leftovers? That's a lot of cakes. How magnanimous of you. But I mean, it's a very tasty sacrifice to make, though. Candle. This old candle holder looks a little out of place here, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're right. It's clearly supposed to be gold, but it's almost completely black for some reason. That old thing, yes. Just a cheap swinemongery. Gimcrack, really? Oh. These are what I was studying, don't you know, for my commission. I know it's old, hardly worth hanging on to, really, but, well, still has its uses sometimes. What uses? Of course. Does everything have sort of some elaborate story behind it? Memories, Mr. Naruhodo, memories. Memories of destroying things. Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual. Yeah, crockery, more like crackery, because it's all cracked. Oh my, a genuine London dresser, isn't it delightful? Although the shells seem to be broken and the crockery is, oh dear, it's in pieces. It really is. The word cracked would do that chinaware justice. Taking a cracked? Huh, I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired. I feel like you put a hole in the wall if you fired a cannon there. I guess probably something like that, but let's not delve too deeply here. Gee. Okay, what about this side? Nope, there's nothing on that side. Okay. Yeah, is there anything I can, like, present to you? No, I can't present right now. Okay. So, I think I will conclude stream here. So, next time we will get to meet up with our dear companion, Herlock Sholmes, and find out what the heck he's been up to on the other floor where the suspect lived up until the time of the crime. So yeah, this is proving to be interesting so far. Lots of new interesting characters to meet and such. So yeah, wish you all a lovely night and I hope to see you next week. Bye!